For decades, diet culture and fitness magazines have hammered home a single rule: protein is good. It builds muscle, burns fat, and keeps you strong. But inside longevity laboratories, the data tells a completely different story. Across multiple species, from yeast and fruit flies to mice, researchers consistently find that a high-protein diet actually accelerates biological aging. When scientists put these animals on strictly low-protein diets, their lifespans extend significantly. Cancer rates drop significantly, their insulin sensitivity improves, and chronic inflammation plummets. While low-protein diets protect cellular machinery and extend lifespan, they extract a severe physical cost. The subjects lose significant muscle mass and become severely frail. In human beings, physical frailty is highly dangerous. Losing muscle means losing balance and bone density. A simple fall can quickly become fatal, making a severely protein-restricted diet a massive physiological gamble. We are left looking at a stark biological contradiction. The exact same macronutrient required to build a robust, capable body is also actively accelerating its cellular decline. To understand why this happens, we have to look closely at how our bodies process food. Human cells possess a built-in nutrient-sensing network that constantly monitors how much protein is circulating in the blood. When those sensors detect high levels of protein, they activate a complex signaling pathway called mTOR. You can think of mTOR as a master biological switch. When you eat a heavy protein meal, that switch flips firmly into growth mode. This growth state is what triggers the synthesis of new bicep muscle after a workout. But growth signals do not isolate themselves to your arms. They tell cells throughout your entire body to rapidly divide. With each division, tiny errors and molecular waste accumulate inside the cell, increasing overall wear and tear and raising the risk of tumor development. However, when dietary protein is restricted, the body registers a temporary state of scarcity. The liver detects this drop in amino acids and responds by pumping out a distinct distress hormone called FGF21. FGF21 acts as a powerful counterbalance. It forces the cellular machinery to halt new growth and pivot into repair mode, a process known as autophagy. The cells start cleaning out waste, clearing metabolic debris, and sharply improving insulin sensitivity. Protein is a loud biochemical command, forcing our cells to choose between growing or healing. Longevity scientists are now looking for a way to break this biological compromise. They want the cellular repair benefits of restriction without the physical deterioration of starvation. What they have found is that the body does not actually react to protein as a single, uniform substance. The growth triggers are isolated to very specific components within the protein chain. Researchers have zeroed in on specific amino acids, most notably methionine and the branched-chain amino acids, or BCAAs. These specific molecules are the primary chemical culprits that trip the mTOR growth switch. In recent laboratory trials, scientists selectively restricted only these specific amino acids while keeping total protein intake normal. The results showed that the cells remained locked in their protective repair state, but the animal retained enough of the other building blocks to maintain its muscle mass. By exploiting this molecular loophole, researchers are shifting the focus away from total calorie deprivation and toward precision nutritional engineering. When we pull back from molecular biology and look at long-term human population data, a completely unexpected pattern emerges. The actual impact of a high-protein diet on human mortality depends entirely on your age. This chart tracks human mortality risk across different diets and age groups. From age 18 up through 65, the adult body is hypersensitive to growth signals. In this middle stage of life, limiting protein intake correlates strongly with lower rates of cancer, fewer metabolic diseases, and reduced early mortality. But right around age 65, the data violently inverts. Suddenly, a high-protein diet drops to the lowest risk category, while a low-protein diet becomes heavily associated with early death. This happens because the older human body develops anabolic resistance. It becomes exceptionally stubborn about building and retaining muscle. The physical danger of losing strength, becoming frail, and suffering a severe fall rapidly outpaces the cellular risks of overactivating the growth pathways. To combat this resistance, older adults actually have to consume significantly more high-quality protein than they did in their 40s, just to maintain baseline immune function and stay physically independent. The optimal human diet does not sit completely static. Biological rules dictate that the safest strategy at 40 becomes the most dangerous strategy at 70. We have to stop viewing dietary protein as inherently good or bad. It is a potent biological lever that requires active management throughout our lives. The current evidence points toward a clear two-part strategy. Moderate your intake to protect the cellular machinery during midlife, and then consciously increase your intake to preserve your physical structure in late life. Longevity relies on a shifting, personalized approach that adapts to the changing demands of our biological clock.